So for basic pulling movements, and this pertains to all pulling movements, whether we're deadlifting, snatching, cleaning, anything we're going from the floor to the hips, to the shoulders, or to above the head, we want to make sure we're set up properly and protect the back. Okay. Biggest thing is on any of these pulling movements, the tendency is always going to be to lean too much. By doing this, all the stress is in my lower back, and I have zero tension in my hamstrings. Every time I pull anything from the floor, whether it's a dumbbell or a barbell, I want to make sure that my heels are rooted in the floor and I'm not shifted towards my toes. Okay, so you want to have that good solid base in the heels. The movement is always initiated by dropping the hips slightly and getting into this sort of almost a squat position. Okay, my back is about a 45-degree angle because I am thinking about pushing my lower back through my stomach, and that's what you have to do. You don't want to round too much in the upper back. You want to think about pushing your spine through your stomach and keeping a really tight back all the way from your hips up to your shoulders. Okay, so again, weight in the heels, butt is down, back is at 45 degrees. Now I'm in a good pulling position. My hamstrings are engaged, my butt's engaged, and anything I'm doing, here's a deadlift, right? Hips down, 45-degree angle in the back. Now I have a good, strong, safe pull. The tension is not in my back when I do this. It is and it isn't. So I'm keeping my back in a supportive role. I'm not initiating the pull with my back. I'm supporting the pull with my back, okay? And the other tutorials, we break down movements in particular, specific movements. I'll go into more depth about that as it pertains to each movement specifically. But in terms of just pulling in general, make sure hamstrings are engaged, butt is down, back is 45 degrees, and we're pushing our spine through our stomach. So here's our deadlift with that form, right? Almost thinking about pushing off the floor rather than pulling. Here's a clean. Right? And if I'm snatching, same thing, right? Everything we do with a pull, butt down, so almost sit into the movement, it's gonna look more like a squat than a lean. Push the spine through the stomach, keep the chest nice and high, and make sure your hamstrings and glutes have tension in them before you start the movement. If they don't, you're pulling too much in your back, and you're gonna risk injury without having your legs engaged at all. So something to think about when you're doing any type of pulling movement.